Hi, today we are going to have a session on demand planning in APO. Contents of demand planning overview, interactive planning table, additional features in interactive planning table, macros, forecasting tools, life cycle planning, promotion planning, mass processing and process chaining DP. What is demand planning? Demand planning is used to predict future demand based on past sales histories, and it improves demand quality with accuracy. What are the benefits of demand planning? Benefits of demand planning in SEM as opposed to flexible planning in SAP ECC system. BW infrastructure has user-friendly features to extract data from execution system to APO system using BW Business Explorer. Advanced macros used to perform complex calculations and to define condition and exception messages called alerts. Demand planning provides advanced statistical forecasting models, constant trend, seasonal, cross-trend method with exponential smoothing, linear regression and causal models with multiple linear regression, composite forecasting, consensus based forecasting, life cycle management and life modeling, which signifies forecasting of new product using historical sales data of old product. And you can make each planning book accessibly to customers or supplier or internet to exchange data quickly and easily. And in demand planning, it is possible to determine demand for the components of bill of material. For example, this is applicable in pharmaceutical industries, and it supports aggregation and disaggregation logic. So these are the benefits of demand planning. Concept of demand planning. In SM demand planning, you can choose to plan on any planning level and define any hierarchy you require. You can plan at both aggregate level, for example product, and at detail level for at product level. Aggregate level is product group, detail level is product, and this function of aggregation and disaggregation means that your data is always consistent at all levels of detail. And the demand planning process starts with historical data. Usually the historical data, past sales data, can be extracted from the source system or execution system, R3 or non-R3 or any OLTP systems. Historical data such as invoiced sales quantity, incoming order quantity, sales revenue, in the BW, the data is stored in info cube of data mart, and where it is read by SCM demand planning. Actual planning takes place in SCM. So these planning results are saved in live cache key figures. These are specifically created for planning area. And forecasts are calculated based on past sales histories using statistical methods, causal analysis, exponential smoothing, model combination, average models, collaborative planning, and market intelligence and management overrides can be added using forecast overrides and promotions. It is rest of your forecast. And lifecycle planning, which is used to introduce a new product and discontinuing of old product. And like modeling, which is used to copy historical data to a new product from old product. So this is concept of demand planning. Demand planning cycle. Import relevant master and transactional data, for example historical data. Transactional data are extracted from the source system to the APO data mart using BW tools. From there, these transaction data and master data are copied into planning area of demand planning. Planning area is central data structure for demand planning and supply network planning. It consists of key figures and characteristics. And data mart loaded with historical data, for example shipments, sales revenue, sales history, and those are saved in key figures of the key figure of planning area. And master data are saved in planning object structure of which is connected to the planning area. Then in the next step you map the company structure using POS, design your product, region, location, on which CAD level you want to do your demand plan to be created, changed, or aggregated or disaggregated. So you have to define during CVC generation, CAD value generation. Then you have to design planning screen for different parties. For example, managers, sales team, demand planner, marketing executives who are participate in demand planning process. Configure the planning book and data view for the persons who participate in the demand planning process. Once you prepare all this master data and the planning book and data view, then define the forecasting methods. We have forecasting methods: univariant, MLR, composite forecasting. And then generate forecast and apply life cycle management. Life cycle management used to introduce a new product and discontinuation of the old product. And here you can also find like modeling, which helps to copy historical data from old product to the new product. And a plan promotion or other events. Promotions are the rest of your forecast. Promotions, for example, discounts, coupons, campaigns. Compare and evaluate different scenario. In this, you merge demand plan from a different department can involved in the demand planning process. This is known as consensus based planning. Then review your final demand plan, then release final demand plan to the APO SNP or SAP APO system. Interactive planning table. In demand planning, which is used to forecast the finished products, while majority of demand planning process will be performed by background jobs, planners will have responsible for performing interactive planning on periodical basis if required. So it is important to that all planners should be able to navigate in the interactive planning table and enter and analyze data. So they can take a part in the demand planning process We'll need a tool to analyze, create, change demand plan through using planning books and database. So planning book can only be attached to one planning area. Planning area where data is stored in live cache is user defined structure, and planning area can have one or more planning book, and each planning book might represent a particular role in the demand planning process, which is assigned to different users. For example, managers, sales executive, marketing executive, demand planners. Who all involved in the demand planning process. And each demand planning can have multiple data view. And in the demand planning, in the interactive planning, you can perform drilled up and drilled down functionality, and it supports different aggregation and disaggregation logic. And nodes can be added in the data view of interactive planning, and you can copy and paste the historical data from Microsoft Excel to the planning book of interactive planning. So interactive planning table can be maintained in the transaction /SAP APO SDP 94, and the menu path is SAP menu, advanced planning optimization, demand planning, interactive demand planning. Double click on that. So this is the interactive planning. Interactive planning is divided into two sections. This is selector, and this is work area. In selector we have selection window, selection profile, planning book, and macros. In the selection window is where you can select info objects you want to plan. Examples of info objects are products, product brands, sales organization, customer. Click on selection window. You can select APO product, adopt. Here you can see the products are selection profile. Selection profile section shows selection IDs that have been assigned to the particular planner. The selection IDs are preset field selection that a person uses all the time, and a demand planner can use this selection profile to quickly access their frequently used selections. To add selections IDs to the selection profile, select selection profile. Now I will show you how to create selection ID. Make a selection and click on save selection. Give the name save, continue. Now click on selection profile. Here you can see your selection ID, assign to selection profile, save and continue. So here you can see the selection ID has been assigned to selection profile. So here is a planning book and data view selection. So planning book PB_TS, which is a forecast overview, forecast view monthly, forecast view weekly. And here you can see the macro, which is used to perform complex calculations. And macro shows macro that are active in this planning book and for this data view. Directly executable macro can be executed from this window by simply double selecting on them. Planning book section, where you can select planning book and data view in the area. If planner can view all the available planning book, it is easy to access the planning book used for demand planning. So in the right side you can see the work area. Here you can see load data, design planning book, design mode, graphical. You can save data. You can upload historical data from Microsoft Excel to the planning book. You can send the mail, and here you can say make the selections for key figures. You can see the macro builder. On the header information, you can select the characteristics which those you want to display in the work area. Puzzle and save, adopt. This is a header on off. If you off, this all headers will invisible. Header on, these all you can visible. And in the work area you can see appropriate data view with key figures, corrected forecast, corrected history, final forecast, historical data. And to display data for a selected object, we can load data by clicking on the load data. We select all from the selection window and load. And you can select on product group level, detail all, and you can select the planning bucket profile through period structure. Click on that and you can select the planning bucket profiles. To display the historical data and the forecast data as you wish. So here you can see univariant forecast tool is there, multiple linear regression, composite forecasting, the promotion planning. And on addition you can see the log entries, selection profile, forecast comparison and forecast profile, assign alert profile, row totals, all columns, selected columns, history, feature. And you can see execute macro. So this is a complete overview of interactive planning table. You can save your data. Additional features in interactive planning table: load planning area version, drill down functionality, mass maintenance of professional factors. These are the additional features in interactive planning table. And load historical data from Microsoft Excel to the planning book. Also, now I will show you how to load historical data from InfoCube to the planning area using transition code /SAP APO /TSCube, copying historical data. SAP menu, advanced planning optimization, APO administration, APO, demand planning, environment, data administration, TSCube, load data from InfoCube. Here provide the InfoCube, planning version of InfoCube, planning area version, period from to, which the period should be same which you have used for initialization of planning area. Hence, match all key figures from InfoCube to planning area. Save. Match all characteristics from InfoCube to planning area. Select. Save. Result log. You can save variant as Load historical data for TS. Save. Yes. And click on execute to load data from InfoCube to planning area. Copy successful. And you can check the number of hits for section 22. Now you go to planning book and check the whether historical data are successfully uploaded to the planning book or not. Go to interactive planning table. Create new session. SDP 94 transition code. Enter. You can load by using selection profile. Select all, load data. Here you can see the historical data. It has been successfully loaded. So this is loading historical data from InfoCube to planning book using TSQ. Now I will show drill down and drill drop functionality in interactive planning table. Drill up and drill down functionality in the selection tree enables you to navigate through a series and used to display associated key figure values. You can use drill down, drill up option through one or more multiple views and in any sequence. For an example, in demand planning, use caches combinations. You can select product, on which you want to know which customer has bought it at which location. Through use of drill down functions, you can investigate by accessing it from any point of reference. In drill down process, user will need to look at groups of data. This may take form of several materials. Yet planners want to look at the transmission data related to their products. And also user might to see breakdown of what customers bought those products and what location shipped to the customers. All these points can be covered by drill down and drill up functions. Now you can see which customer buy which product at which locations. Go to period structure. Go to header information display. Here you can select location, product group, sales organization, country and customer. So now customer wants to see at the most aggregate level. So product group is a aggregate level for the products. So click on total, detail all. So here you can see the historical sales values on aggregate level. Product group 1, the product group 2. And you can see product details at most detailed level. Click on product, detail all of total. So here you can see the historical sales values on product level, most detailed level. And you can see drill down functions for which customer buys which product at which location. Click on customer, total and detail all. So here you can see customers. So here are which customers buys which product at which location with the product group. So this is a drill down and drill up functionality. So now we'll see what is aggregation and disaggregation. So in a demand planning, at the end of demand planning process, users looks at summary or aggregated data. So user need to understand how data is being presented to them, as well as how many changes at aggregate level will be done. Aggregation. What is aggregation? Aggregation is a function that automatically adds key figure values on lowest level and display the plan on higher level at the aggregate level. For an example, you can display a forecast demand for a region or a customer group in the interactive planning table. So you can see forecast demand that the system calculated for the different customer group, product family, brands, customer. So in the most detailed level, the product. Disaggregation is opposite to the aggregation. Disaggregation is a function that automatically distribute the key figure values on a higher level onto members of lower level. For an example, forecast, meaning forecast the demand for a at region level or a customer group level. System will split the number of demand to the lower level, product group, product family, brands, product, customer, and so on. So key figure values are always saved at the lowest detail level only. If aggregate exists, the data also saved at the aggregate level. For example, product group and the sales organization and the customer group, these are the aggregates. So steps to perform aggregation and disaggregation. Go to SAP menu, advanced planning, demand planning. Load your CVCs into your interactive planning table. To selections and select one or more products. Select all. Load data. So when you load the data in a work area of the interactive planning book, the key figures are aggregated and displayed for CVCs contained in your selection. So when you load data into interactive planning table, the aggregated view of selected data is displayed in interactive planning. So cache combination are displayed in aggregated view. And when you save the data, it is automatically disaggregated and they are stored at the detail level. So when you save the data, these data will be automatically disaggregated and stored at the detail level. So we can see the data in most detail level. So this is aggregation and disaggregation. Now, maintaining notes in interactive planning table. You can use notes to explain reason for occurrence, either for your own benefits or other demand planners. For an example, reason why demand forecast is particularly low and high in a certain time period, or a why certain correction was entered. So you can create notes by right clicking on the cells, display note. Here you can enter your note. So note is historical data are very low during period week 19-2013, hence forecast not calculated properly, need to correct data. So save the note and you can so now note has been saved. If your cell has a note, you can display details. Sorry, this. So this is maintenance of note in interactive planning table. Save. Now fixing key figure values. During demand planning process, changes values at aggregate level is very common. So you can block the data and add the disaggregation for a specific combination, and this functionality known as fixing in demand planning, value fixing. And to fix the key figure value at a aggregate level, you need to assign key figures to a second key figure in which the fixing information is stored. So select the aggregate level. To fix the key figure value, right click on the cell and fix cells. Click on fix cells. So you have to define the key figure where you want to store the fixed information. So I'll explain the fixing functionality. After completion of professional factors later on. Next is uploading historical data from Microsoft Excel into planning book. Here you can see upload data. You can upload historical data directly into the planning book. Here you can see the file name. You have to give the file name and upload file. And you can also have the functionality integration with Microsoft Excel, copy and paste to and from Microsoft Excel. You can copy the forecast and the historical data from the planning book into the Excel, from the Excel into the planning book. In the last additional feature of demand planning is reporting from planning book. One of the important tasks for a planner is to report on the forecast and planning data. So there are two reports: order data from live KHA and aggregated data in InfoCube. You can use BEX to report on actual historical data or old forecast data stored in InfoCube in the database. And you can also use BEX report on the planning data directly from live KHA. So this functionality can be done through a BW InfoCube, and also access BW Business Explorer analyzer, which is used to evaluate data that is saved in the sales InfoCube. So you can execute BEX report on actual historical data in InfoCube and BEX report on planning data directly from live KHA. So these are the additional features of demand planning. In addition to that, I will explain you proportional factors and fixing key figure values. Later on. Proportional factors aggregation and disaggregation are controlled by proportional factors. Aggregation and disaggregation of each key figure are defined by its calculation type and its time-based disaggregation type. We will have a clear session on proportional factors later on. Now I will explain you graphical view of interactive demand planning. Load the data. Switch to table and graphic. So here you can see for the planning book, these are the current forecast, current history, fan forecast, historical sales values. So these are historical sales values variations. You can also save the graphic. So this is a complete information on integrated planning table. Thank you.